Spurs New Stadium finally brings them a victory. Mauro Icardi returns to Inter Milan action. Bayern Munich play out a barnstorming cup quarter-final. Zidane tastes defeat, and we've got a roundup of all the day's transfer rumours. That and more coming up in the next few minutes, as I'm your host, Matt Froelich. You are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. First off, the spectacular opening of Tottenham's new stadium took place last night ahead of their 2-0 victory over Crystal Palace. This is their first win in 6 games and season back into third in the race for the Champions League in the Premier League. However, the one bad thing about the night was the opening ceremony. It was pretty ridiculous. I'm not even going to hate on it, but it was just so cringy. I just think that every time someone opens a new stadium, you should just bin the opening ceremonies altogether and get to the football. Because to be honest, that's what almost 60,000 fans were there for. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Mauricio Sarri finally gave a start to Callum Hudson-Odoi in the Premier League, and he returned the favour with setting up Olivier Giroud for the opening goal of the game. As well as that, Ruben Loftus-Cheek also had a fantastic game, and it looks like Chelsea are finally giving a chance to some of their youngsters. In the other game of the evening, Manchester City beat Cardiff 2-0 because of course they did, and it takes them back to the top of the Premier League with 6 games to go, just ahead of Liverpool. But next up into some Serie A action, where Mauro Icardi returned to the Inter Milan squad, and things went well for him on the pitch, but he's still pretty much a hated figure for the blue and black half of Milan. He was playing in the 4-0 victory over Genoa, and after scoring in the first half, he set up Ivan Perisic for the 3rd goal of the night. His goal wasn't really celebrated by the fans, or not really the ultras. His assist was kind of congratulated by his teammates, but the worst bit of the evening was when he was withdrawn with about 10 minutes to go by manager Luciano Spalletti. As Icardi walked off the pitch, the manager sort of held his hand out to congratulate him. He completely ignored him, brushed past him, and it looks like things are still pretty intense between the two. Personally, I think this should not be happening in view of the public. If they want to fight, if they want to scream at each other, do whatever they want to do it inside, do it in the dressing room, do it on the training ground. Do not send that kind of message in the public to the fans and everyone watching around the world. This, though, is probably what Icardi and, more importantly, his agent wanted. They want to stir the pot and make way for a big money transfer in the summer. But moving on now to some German FA Cup news, where that is the German equivalent of the FA Cup. And Bayern Munich played out an absolute thriller, a 9-goal thriller against 2nd Division Heidenheim in the quarter-finals. Basically, it went a little bit like this. Bayern Munich took the lead early on before getting Niklas Süle sent off, all within the first 15 minutes. By half-time, it was 2-1 to Heidenheim, and after a great start to the second half, Munich were leading 4-2. But cue the ridiculous comeback. 2 goals in quick succession made the score 4-4 before a late Robert Lewandowski penalty broke Heidenheim hearts and sent Bayern Munich into the semi-final. It's here they'll join the likes of Hamburg, Bremen and Leipzig in what is their 10th consecutive semi-final appearance in the Cup. But on to some bad news now for Zinedine Zidane back at Real Madrid, as he has suffered his first defeat of his 2nd reign in charge of Los Blancos. In fact, this defeat was Real Madrid's 9th of the season. That's more than both of the last 2 seasons combined. Benzema has been working as much magic as he can in the last few matches, but even he couldn't help him like he did at the weekend, but he did manage to grab a goal against Valencia. This means that there's still a lot of questions to be answered at Real Madrid. For me, I don't think Modric is the player that he once was, especially as he's the current Ballon d'Or holder. Marcelo looks like he's already got his head in Juventus. Toni Kroos doesn't seem the right kind of player at the moment. And Karim Benzema is the only positive spark for Real Madrid up front. With Vinicius Jr. injured, Asensio and Isco really aren't hitting top form. To be fair to Isco, he hasn't played that much. And Gareth Bale is forever on the injury table. What do you guys think Zinedine Zidane could do in the summer? Let me know all your thoughts down below, as well as your thoughts on the rest of today's daily news. But before I leave you, we of course have a quick roundup of all the day's transfer rumours. First up, Manchester United are considering letting David de Gea go in the summer because it means they'll get some money for him instead of losing him for a free when his contract expires next summer in 2020. Elsewhere, Leicester are looking to renew their interest in the Arsenal midfielder Mohamed El Neni. John Joe Shelby could swap Newcastle for West Ham. And lastly but not least, Fulham are resigned to letting Ryan Sessegnon go. Apparently, the winger will be available for around £50 million this summer. That is absolutely ridiculous. I hope that no one pays $50 million for a player who didn't really do much of the Premier League this season and eventually got relegated. Now, none of it is his fault. He is still a young player with a lot to learn. But surely if he couldn't handle the pressure of the Premier League week in, week out, and he's not quite up to the task just yet, how is putting a $50 million price tag on his head going to help anymore? Imagine if he does make that big move and then all of a sudden the pressure has doubled or even tripled and he doesn't quite make it. This could completely destroy a young player's career. Maybe let him go back down to the Championship, have another good season, improve, and then he'll be ready for the Premier League. There's absolutely no rush for him. So there you have it. There's all of today's daily news. Of course, let me know your thoughts down below on Zinedine Zidane, on Mauricio Sarri finally giving starts to a few Chelsea players, and Spurs' new fantastic stadium but slightly cringy opening ceremony. Whilst you're down there, you can also smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos that we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, I will see you guys later.